Where are we? Kenya. In the triwheeler. With over 1,000k on it. Now begins the grind to 1,000 miles. It's quite interesting that actually, to me at least, the game released with up to Germany, so what I've done so far, which is just under, it's just over because I've had to repeat a couple of stages. But it's just under 1,000 kilometres, and then it's around about 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometres, by the time it's all said and done with the Kenya DLC and Indonesia and Australia. Look. Oh, we're in. Ah, piss. Drove forwards instead of backwards. Don't think they planned that. Potentially planned the 1,000 kilometres, you know, I don't think exactly, but might have been a goal to be like, we'll get 1,000k. Yeah. I mean, I've decided to take up the progression this year. Well, last year I actually took up the progression, which is that I just don't care about miles anymore, and I swapped halfway through the year to kilometres on my bike computer. So 100 miles just isn't really anything important anymore, because it's just 160 kilometres. Oh, fuck off. This stage is really bumpy. That's the problem. It's not me being shit, honest. Yeah, so I'm only doing 100k's now. That's as long as I can be asked to go until National 100. Which, I think you were here when I was talking about it. I have looked into National 100 a little bit more. I've got not a fucking clue how I'm supposed to enter. Whether I'm supposed to have ridden another 100, but I have found people who've done their first ever ride, but they've done like 50s and stuff before. So I don't know if I need to do, because the best I can do is a 27 not official not official road bike time trial. That's local to me. It's not official because it's 27 miles rather than 25 or 10, or, you know, it's not close enough to be within the margin of error for an official distance. And it's road bike only. So it's not... It is official, the timings are on the proper website, it is proper. It is a proper time trial, of course. But it's not BBAR, which potentially means that I can't use it as a qualification thing for, you know, because it's not because it's not a 25, it might mean that when I go to sign up, I need to check, it might mean I can't put it down as a time for a 25 as my qualifying time. I definitely don't want to put the last time trial, the last 100, well, my only 100 mile ride down, because I did that on the shortest day of the year, and my only goal was to get back before it was dark, and that was it. Yeah, I also despise clubs, because this time last week I was staring at club bloody code of conducts, because none of, like, they're all really fancily written and stuff. I just want to know, when's your time trial? Because, like, the code of conduct, not the code of conduct, something else. Something fancy within the club that officially said that they have time trials, Tuesday evening time trials. And I was like, you don't. Because they're a Thursday, for one. So why does this say Tuesday? And two, I don't think they exist anymore at all. I'm pretty sure they got cancelled. COVID, and then just never came back. The closest ones to me are impossible to get to. There are some Saturday morning ones that are possible to get to, but probably not worth it for me. I don't know. Because there's a Saturday morning ride, it would be fine if there was nothing else on Saturday. Yeah. I mean, it's in the members handbook, which is actually updated 2024. And it's a PDF, so they haven't just done the dollar current year on websites for copyright. It is updated 2024, genuinely. I'm almost certain it was only updated in 2023 because the Leicester Forest. Like, the other thing I noticed, because I just decided to have a look, how much would membership to a running club be? Maybe I join a local running club. My local running club down the road from me, it'd be good for training, basically, was my main thinking. It'd be fun to do some training, because they got evening sessions. And give me something to do. Yeah, a small club with the head admins all probably being in their 60s. Most people who do cycling club administration are retired. Yeah, joining a running club, it's ridiculously expensive compared to a cycling club for some reason. And cycling clubs always provide more benefits, it seems like. So my local running club, their thing is 25 quid plus 17 quid for affiliation to Running Athletics UK or whatever. UK running board. Fine, all well and dandy. That is fine. Cycling club, you get that affiliation to British Cycling. You also get the affiliation to cycling time trials with most clubs, because multiple boards. Potentially, depending on the club, they might have an affiliation to Cycling UK, which is the old Cycling Tourists Club, and Audax UK, which is another form of long distance touring cycling, basically. It's semi-competitive. I don't know, it's not semi-competitive. There's a maximum speed limit on the bloody thing. But it's adventure, it's randonneuring, if you've ever heard of that. It's cool, I want to do some. Just a shame that the whole point of it is that they're all, like, all the reasonable ones of any interest are, like, at least 100 kilometres, which is fine. You get all day to do it, it's fine, it's nothing. But cycling out to them makes them like 120 miles for some of them for me, and I'm like, fuck that. Yeah, so you get like loads of affiliation for 15 quid to one of them and 20 to the other one that I'm looking at. Because yeah, I'm just looking at the two local clubs, that's it. Need a car to go cycling? I know, well, yeah, time trials definitely. It is really annoying. To be fair, the randonneuring one, they actually genuinely beat the fact that you need a car for it, because if you are wanting to get entry to one of the bigger events, so there's an early season randonneur, an early season Audax in Leicestershire, and it's 100 kilometres or 105 or something, but really, you know, round 100 kilometres. It's considered a 100 kilometre, you know, Audax in terms of filling out your forms. You have done a 100 kilometre Audax, whether it's 105 or 108 or, you know, anything silly like that. It's 100. The reason for filling out those forms is if you want to sign up for a more serious one that has a lot of membership, a lot of anything, or a really long one, the most prestigious of course being Paris-Brest-Paris, you're going to need to have done at least this many of these ones, at least this many of these lengths, at least this many of these lengths, certain specific qualifiers to be able to go to PvP. It's quite cool, instead of saying you have to do this race, you can literally do it. But you can actually submit certain amount of them can be inclusive of your ride to an event if you can prove with a GPS file or people vouching for you, because this is an old school thing and not every event even gives you a GPS file. There's a little bit of proof to us that you won't die on our rides, but it's like we want to encourage people to come who are actually going to finish this and aren't just doing it for the prestige. Same thing as like the Boston Marathon. The Boston Marathon has one of the highest, or the lowest I suppose, one of the fastest average finishing times, because you are required to submit your reasons for wanting to go, and they say no, you've not ran enough marathons, or you know, no one ever does the Boston as their first. Unless they're like an international 5k or something, then maybe they'd get into it. But you know, outside of influencers, Boston Marathon, you've got to have some credentials. That's a good thing, I think. There should be events like that, but then there should also be just turn up, pay your entry fee, turn up. Same thing with time trials. Club time trials, £4 on the morning, you're in. Or as they've all slowly started to work out, stop charging £4. Who the hell thought £4 was a reasonable amount? So they all charge a £5 now because it's easier to get out of the cash machine, because no one's got contactless, but you're at the side of the road and probably don't have any Wi-Fi to set up a contactless card because no one carries cash. Although the poster for the LFCC one says it's £4 for non-affiliated members and £3 for affiliated members. It's like, bloody hell. Yes, some sort of liability insurance. Probably. I think a large amount of that is actually handled by cycling time trials, rather than, what's it? I know you sign a waiver that says we're not responsible if you crash, and agree to wear a helmet and use front and rear lights, which is even required in hill climbs now. Helmets are required for the hill climb championships and hill climb racing, which isn't always enforced at local level. And the lights definitely aren't enforced at local level. But yeah, I think Cycling Time Trials handles the majority of it, which is why you affiliate with a club and then the club pays a fee, and then... But it does make it like... I don't understand how it's £17 to... Like I was saying about the running club. It's £25 if you're already a member of Athletics UK, because your £17 affiliation fee is waived. So if you're a second claim member for the club. Cycling, £15 first claim. But that's not just it. That's literally, I looked around a couple of... I was like, that seems a bit weird. What do the other running clubs around here do? And it's all roughly the same, you know. Some are a bit cheaper, like £25 is actually on the steeper end. But at the same time, this running club does a lot more than other running clubs. Like the other running club that I looked at, literally sometimes goes for a run on a Wednesday night. They have an evening run, starts at the park. It's the sort of... That is their only event. That is the thing you get for signing up with them, is the ability to do that. And I'm pretty sure that you could just turn up and do it. Like, I've seen them running. They're very friendly. They wear the shirts. You know, they run around the local park. But you're paying for the upkeep of the club, and you know there's more to it than just that run. Obviously, and I think they do affiliate. That's the thing. I think they do affiliate you with something or other, because you are able to run in events with them. And they will do events as well. They will do events. But it's like, so it's that, which is the main thing that they do that's often on, is that run on a Wednesday night, versus the other club, which has pretty much one day a week in the summer they're doing something, you know, every day for the whole week in the summer, whatever day you want to pick. Like, there's some of it's junior stuff that you'd have to be a junior to do, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure they actually own the track that's in front of the field. There's a school field, and it's outside the front of the leisure centre. I'm pretty sure the running club actually owns the running track that's on that field, rather than the school. Because I went to a running thing at the school, and we didn't run on the one I was expecting to run on the one that's out the front of the leisure centre. We didn't run on that. And it's gated off, and you can't get into it from the leisure centre. I'm like pretty sure that they own it. It's like, what the fuck? It's weird though, because they play football on it. So it's either jointly owned by them and the football, or it's like council and leased to them or something like that. I don't know. I've already got something informal but semi-regular. There's a Saturday morning group ride rather than club ride. Feels like a club ride, but nobody's wearing club kit. Nobody has club kit. I want a club kit, but the guy who organised it has said he doesn't want anything at all. I wanted a hat. I said, can I get some hats printed? And literally I will buy some and give them to people, or I will, you know, get them and people can have them for whatever I pay for them, sort of thing. And he was like, no, I don't want anyone to have anything with the, I can't tell you the name of the group because it is the Tour de place I live. So yeah, and you ain't going to find it by searching Tour de, because that's going to come up with Tour de France. But yes, it's a very cool thing, and nah, it's because it is official. So it is official. It's ran through British Cycling. It's an official group. When they launched their group cycling ride, this was one of the first things that they ever did, because the guy who organises it, he emailed them and said, I don't want to set up a club, but I want more people to cycle, and I want to do group riding, and it's been a success story because it's a great article, which is going to give it away because you're going to be able to find this. If you want to find it, you can find it. Fuck it. Come along. Have a ride. We'll go for a coffee. But the article is, he managed to get the vicar, the town vicar, the school headmaster, the baker. He had interest from the butcher, and he said, well, if I can get the butcher out, then all I need is the local candlestick maker, and we got the full set. You know, but he genuinely was at one point the entirety of this village was cycling. I went there. There is a clause that I am very happy to be part of, because it says under 16s must be accompanied by an adult, and that is me, because my dad was going, And he went to the guy that organises it and he said, mate, can my lad come along? Guy can gun it from the front with me. He's racing, wants to come along because, you know, I keep going out in the evening, and when my dad was going on those rides, because he wanted to go for the social side of it, talk to people, it meant that I couldn't go on a ride. This thing has been... No, this is still going. It's been going for a long time, since 2010 I think it was set up. This is genuinely just kept going. Tuesday night rides, Thursday night rides, does everything like a club. They have a bloody club chain gang on a Thursday. There are clubs that don't have club chain gangs. It's not a club, it's a group. But yet we have a club chain gang. It's like, for God's sake. Chain gang is really fast ride, so if you imagine how a chain works, it's also called through and off. No one does any maintenance. Everyone's bikes are buggered. Yeah, it's through and off. So you ride in like a group of 6 to 10, and you ride through to the front, and then you peel off, and you just roll to the back and rest, and then you get pulled to the front where you're out of the wind, and then once you get to the front, you just literally peel straight off, pretty much through and off, or you might do a 10-second effort, depends on the strength of you within the group. So I could go down. I've actually never been to it because it's a bit harsh for me on a Thursday, but I want to go this year. I'm just going to be knackered on a Friday for a bit. But yeah, it depends on the groups. You know, whatever group you're in, you could be in a group that's stronger than you, and you will get to the front and peel off immediately. You could also be the strongest, where you'll do 20-30 seconds on the front. Yeah, everyone takes turns on the front, but you all sort of say, that was really fucking cool. Don't text and drive, because that'll happen to you. But hey, I'll take it. I will take that. I will take that. Yeah, so everyone takes their turn on the front, going in the wind. Oh, please do. I think you might be able to type !clip. I'm not sure if I've got that enabled for everyone or only mods. Whether I just went, only people who know about this are going to know how to use it, and I can easily just set it. But yeah, it's more for me being able to just hit !clip, have a clip made, and then if I go into the highlight in Twitch, it shows you where clips were made, so I can go to clips and go, that was a clip, I can make a highlight out of it. As long as it's close enough, it'll be fine, sort of thing. Yeah, so everyone goes to the front, does their turn in the wind, and you're able to just boom, 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 go really, really fast riding, much better. You do need an organised group that can actually do it, because otherwise you end up not chain ganging, or one guy will just not peel off the front, and you're like, fucking go, Richard. Calling someone out there. Because he just rides on the front when we're like, let's do a chain gang. Do you title it, whatever the hell you like. Because if you just leave it, it'll be called clip from more tri-wheelinging. X Games Tri-Wheeler Edition entry. I currently have a meme on my second screen that says the first Fast and Furious movie, and it's either a photoshopped picture. Yeah, that probably did work. It's either a photoshopped picture of Bruce Willis. Or not Bruce Willis. Is it Bruce Willis? The bloke from the Fast and the Furious movie. It's either or just a guy who looks very like him. Stood next to a penny farthing. Oh, it's probably not. It's a tiny penny farthing. Vin Diesel, that's the one. I don't think it is. It doesn't quite look like him, but at the same time, of the era, that's a hell of a style to have a bald head like that. One hell of a style for clearly Victorian England. But anyway, stood next to a penny farthing. It says the first Fast and Furious movie, and it's quite funny. I like this meme because I like the idea of a Fast and Furious bike movie, because I think that would work really well with alley cat culture in London or San Francisco. Bike messenger, alley cat culture, Fast and Furious movie. Someone do it. Fix gear the fuck out of it. Or do it on penny farthings. You know, if you just want to shit everybody up. Shit. I got an email from British Cycling today asking me about my experience on guided rides, which technically that cycling group that I do is the reason I've got a guided rides email. Because it is officially a guided ride, even though it's not. It's listed as a guided ride. But yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting because asking questions about guided rides, and I think the guided ride system is fantastic, but I think everything else that British Cycling does, included how they advertise the guided ride system, which is they don't. The only thing that the only reason I know about the guided ride system is because of that group that I go with. The fact that that's on there, and I was going there before the guided ride system existed. You know? I was going there from before when I was on the internet proper, to be fair. Yeah. And it's like, you don't advertise it. I've been to hundreds of British cycling events over the years, and I've not heard of it at any of them. Yeah, the guided ride system. I mean, literally, we're in? I don't know if I was at one before or after, but I was very much within the first year of the guided rides and the British... Well, it wasn't guided rides at the time, it was British Cycling's Let's Ride system and group rides, and having group rides posted on the internet that anyone can join and look for near them and stuff like that. And it was literally a pioneer system, because the guy who organised it emailed British Cycling and said, look, I want to do this, and they said, well, we're considering starting this, and he was like, I'll be a pioneer for it. It's like, thank God you did. And yeah, he does a lot. Does a lot. I would actually go as far to say I would tell him this to his face, and I might if I see him tomorrow. He has done more for cycling and encouraging people to cycle and getting more people cycling active. I think his numbers may even be as big as British Cycling and the government combined, because they do such a shit job that one man encouraging his town and a few towns around to cycle, it is the scale of it is such that the Village Hall car park is a hot spot on Strava. When Strava does they look at where all the rides are starting, it is a hot spot on the level of the same place as the local park run takes place. It looks like the car park where the local park run takes place, and you've got to think, that's on a national cycle route. That's the way to get to Leicester town centre from the suburbs around me. if you don't want to take the main road, if you want to like be safe and not on the dual carriageway. Effectively, if you're cycling, you're going through there. The bloody town car park is that much of a hotspot. You know, it's parkrun levels of hotspot. We fill the car park. We got told off by the brownies because we filled the car park, and the guy who organises it, way too nice. He was like, oh yeah, we'll do that. We were here first. The brownies moved because they weren't allowed at the school anymore. They had a falling out with the school and didn't do it at the school. It's like, oi, we were here first. We were 10 years before you did. No, but the brownies are older. Can we count the fact that the brownies weren't older? It was the Girl Guides. But also, can we count the thing like the ashes of the local cycling club that started in 1823 or whatever? So ridiculously old. Can we go back to like the earliest cycling club of the village? Because I'm pretty sure it will be like the invention of the bicycle, because every British town has a cycling club at some point from the 1800s. Predating the chain sort of end of clubs. If we can Bagsy that one, we were here first. Because I bet they would have met at the village hall. Because they either met at the village hall or the church. That's it. Like the village hall, church, or old school. Because the old school in my village, where I grew up, pub, old school, pub. It's great, and the pubs are as old as the old school. The old school is now a swimming pool for the new school to go to when they're tiny. I never actually got to swim in it, but I got to do some lessons with small children. Because they were like, I can't remember what it... Oh yeah, because everyone was going to one secondary school except for like 5 of us who were going to a different secondary school. And they were like, Craven, would you like to come with us on the day that everyone else is off doing their induction? Would you like to come with us and teach the 2-year-olds how to swim? Well, not the 2-year-olds, the year 2s how to swim? Because you have been cycling and swimming and triathloning since you were this young. I was like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. I was only like 11. I was like, yeah, I can do that. Got there and just like, oh, I actually have to teach them how to swim. Ooh, no, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I did have my lifesaver badge at the time, so I was like, I don't know how to teach them how to swim. I know how to teach them how to swim faster. You know, like I could give them tips on how to do 3-stroke breathe left, 3-stroke breathe right. You know, I can do that. I wasn't the only person there. But it was like these kids were in armbands. It's like, okay, yeah. Swim. I also found out after one kid was panicking because he was in the middle of the pool, that the year 2s, so 5 or 6 years old, could almost touch the bottom of the pool. Like they would have the top of their head sticking out, kind of, which also meant that the teacher could jump in without getting her shirt wet, sort of. Like, the teacher wouldn't actually have to swim, and me being 11, I could have jumped in and just sort of walked around up to my belly button. Very small. I'm glad I found this out, because I was fully prepared in my mind that if I had to jump in, I would be jumping in. Because that's what I was taught when I did my, you know, my, what's it? My lifesaver badge. Jump in. And I was like, oh, glad I didn't do that. Would have cracked my head open on the bottom of the pool. I actually want to go back to that building and go into it because it felt tiny when I was 11. And honestly, I feel like my best mate's dad was a teacher there. He was 6 foot. How did he fit in there? He was a year 2 teacher. How did he fit in that building? Because I thought it was a bit cramped when I was 11. I stood over him 6 foot. Got his hands and knees just to fit in the bloody hobbit hole of a building. I wouldn't be surprised if to fit the pool in they couldn't dig down and they had to actually build up rather than down. At least half of it, like maybe they could only dig down a couple of feet. And they had to build it up. Because it just felt tiny. If you had I reckon, I haven't swum in years. But I also reckon I could push off from a wall, casually make it to the other side before actually having to break out into stroke. Either that or it'd feel like a bath. Yeah, if there was any infrastructure under that. I mean, it's next to 2 pubs, so there's half a chance that they're storing their cellar down there or something.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you very much.
There's a bomb shelter next to it still.
Have a great night.
Either a bomb shelter or a pig shed. Some corrugated iron. Looks a bit like a bomb shelter. All the buildings around it are old enough that it could be a World War II bomb shelter. Quite easily. Okay. It's a cool village. I do think one of the best things I had in my life is growing up in a small village. As much as now I've moved to the middle of a town, it's only a small town, but there's actually people around, and people, younger kids are around, and there's a play park you can get to without crossing a busy main road, and all of this, and you can just play in the street because there's no cars coming. Except for the fact that cars do like 30 miles an hour down here, even though it's shit the bed scary to go around the mini roundabout that's around here at any sort of speed. I'm walking the dog, I'm like, slow down! Well, I don't go around the mini roundabout full taps open on my bike. I only ever go up the top, to be fair. I never actually... Have I ever ridden with a helmet up past this house? I don't think so. Other than to go on the path cut through to get out of the estate, it's a dead end, or it's a ring road with a load of houses on it. I doubt I've ever actually been up there with a helmet on, you know, because I've only ever done it to test bikes, having put a new tyre or cleaned them or whatever. So I almost certainly haven't been up there with a helmet on. Actually I have, because I did on my skateboard. Yes, because it's a reasonably steep incline, so I put a helmet on. Would have been better putting knee pads on, because I'd be less likely to hit my head than to scrape my elbows and knees. But oh well. Didn't fall off, it's fine. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things in small villages. But the worst part about that specific small village is that the main road is very busy. Main road through it, so you can't kind of just play in the street, and there's no street to play in that you can play in, because the rest of them are full of parked cars. Cars ruin everything. Small quaint village, play loads of cards. I do find it quite funny, there was a proposal a while back to get the church parking. Yeah. Yeah, it's like... the thing is, there's a load of people pissed off about the 20 mile an hour thing in Wales. But do you know what? 20 miles an hour through that village would fix it. And I wouldn't. And that's actually how my dad was annoyed, because we went up to see my aunt and uncle who live in Wales over Christmas, and he was annoyed because we were driving through a village, and I said, think about this as where we used to live, you know, when we lived in the village, and think about how fast the cars are, and think, wouldn't you have felt better about letting me go past the end of our little gravel driveway on my bike if the cars were doing 20? And his answer was sort of fair. No, because I reckon at the age of 5 you'd have considered 20 miles an hour a race and tried to race cars, but at the same time, you know, he did come round to the idea a bit that it would be safer. But yep, fair, wouldn't let me go past it, because yes, at the age of 5 I would have gone, I could beat you. Yep. Guilty is charged. Would have. Because I do it in 30s now. Car comes past at a 30, I'm like, oh, I could take him. I reckon I got that. Got my new helmet, because Wiggle's going under. They went on, I was like, oh, what can I get cheap? £10 for an aero helmet. Not a super aero helmet, but definitely more aero than the one that when you hit 40 kilometers an hour the peak flicks up and tries to blow the helmet off your head, which is just really bloody annoying. So I've been kind of looking for a road helmet instead of a mountain bike helmet for a little while, because it's fine when you're mountain biking, you don't hit 40k an hour, but yeah, 40k an hour coming down a hill and your helmet tries to fall off your head. It's not great. Not great. But also some bib shorts, because a couple of pairs of mine are knackered and they were a tenner. And what else? A couple of t-shirts because they're a £5. Yeah, it's annoying. It is annoying. The other thing with the helmet is I was between 2 sizes, and it was like, either you can wear this with a hat or you have to wear this with a hat. Oh sorry, you can't wear this with a hat or you have to wear it with a hat. And I chose have to wear it with a hat, because it felt like the better option. But it's a bit big, and it is a bit annoying in the summer when you don't want to wear a hat. Even though I've got thin hats, it's like I still have to wear something just to bulk it out a bit. Especially after I've had my haircut. It probably ain't too bad at the minute because I need a haircut, but as soon as I get my haircut it'll be like, yeah, that doesn't fit. But yeah, the helmet I've got is quite nice. I haven't ridden it yet, I'll ride it tomorrow. A little bit more aerodynamic, which is nice. Nice bonus, but the main thing is it fits without a hat underneath and fits with a hat underneath. Because this one I wasn't between sizes, I was bang in the middle of the size. 53 to 61 I think it is centimetre bonds. Oh, I got a 56. Fuck. Yeah, it's all over there on the side. Might wear the t-shirts tomorrow, not sure. The jerseys. Just to see how they fit, because they are potentially a little bit short, because they're kind of like low cut at the front, which means when you stand up they fucking show your midriff. But it's alright, because I bought women's shorts because they were cheaper and had cooler designs. Bought women's shirts as well, to be fair. If you've got tits, you're not fitting in that. I'll be honest, you're going to have issues because it's not got extra material in the tit area. Wait, there's a bloody elephant here. Hold on. When did that get there? I know about the giant sheep in Australia. When did the giant elephant get here? Ah, he has physics. Let's take a picture of my little tuk-tuk with the elephant. Right, hide the bloody UI before I take the photo. And it's the back button to take the photo. How do I bring the... You gotta remember what button it is to bring the UI back up. Okay, I might have taken some photos there. You can see a lot further ahead with this view. I might start racing with this view. That's too far. That's looking down now. Yeah, pretty much everyone races with this. So I'm going to assume it's the best. Yeah, honestly, so when I was a kid, I wore women's cycling shorts because they were the only ones you could get that were fittable. Yeah, this keeps the horizon visible, so that's pretty good. Yeah, they were the only ones I could get as a kid that fit, because short people and kids' clothing didn't exist, pretty much, or it was expensive. And I've ridden in men's equipment, and honestly, the women's stuff just seems to be better, because instead of having ridiculously small straps, it's just a bit bigger on the amount of material on the straps and stuff, so it doesn't dig into your shoulders. And it's like, yeah, I understand that, because it means that you've got a bit more modesty in the shirt, but also I don't think anybody wants a fucking really strappy strap that digs into their shoulders. I think that's a gendered thing to not want it to dig into your shoulders, quite frankly. Modesty top, yeah, I understand that, and to be fair, there's a lot of women's stuff without the modesty top. I think most blokes don't give a shit about the modesty top, but put a modesty top into a bib short for winter. Extra base layer. I didn't get the modesty top one. I did consider it, but I thought the main thing with the modesty top one was I didn't know what size I was going to get, and that one would have required actually knowing my size, but now I know that I'm a 10 to 12. 10 if I want to race in it. 10's a little bit tighter fitting. 12 a little bit better. Oh yeah, admitting that you're uncomfortable is gendered, yeah, forgot about that. That's why blokes went so long with the fucking uncomfortable saddles that don't have the cutouts in them. Yes, I'm mad about this. I'm always mad about people going, oh, it's a women's saddle because it's got a cutout in it. technically, yes, my specific saddle is the women's saddle because it has the cutout in it. However, they also spell women's wrong because they refuse to use vowels. It's a WMNS saddle. That's the name of it. It's like, you know, everybody's got a fucking pressure point there. Yeah, that women's... Don't look up the Cannondale Collective, because they spell their name, not the Cannondale, Canyon Collective. CNYN. CLLTV. Because we don't need any vowels. And everybody on Pink Bike takes the piss out of them every time a rider signs or unsigns from them over the winter. Every time it's come up over the last 3 months with the signings and leavings and joinings. Pink Bike is a mountain bike news site with comments, specifically with comments. Not just has a comment section, because every site has a comment section, but the comments. Sometimes I read the title of an article and go, I can't be asked to read this article, but I want to see, it's like, this part is super expensive. Cool. It does nothing, it's just expensive. I want to see what people are doing in the comments and just go, and it's basically Reddit comments. It's terrible comments. I need to make an account so I can see comments that are below threshold, that have been downvoted so much. -5 means you can't see them without an account, and you have to press I want to see this. Show anyway. So you need an account. Genuinely, I don't want to comment, I just want an account so I can see those comments. See what people are ragging on. Because it is classically annoying when you see one guy's got -400 and one guy's got +400. Oh yeah, there's good subs and bad subs. It depends how moderated they are, how whatever. There's some small subs that are absolutely terrible, you know, because they're just unmoderated. The r/BMX can be a crapshoot depending on whether it's moderated or not at the time that something's going off. Sometimes you'll just get some kid asking a bit of a dumb question, but you'll just get someone else in there being an arsehole, and it's like, well, that's not going to get the kid to enjoy and want to be riding their BMX. Just because they've asked, how come I can't screw my front wheel back on, which is a stupid question. But, like, just answer it, for God's sake. It took you longer to type the sarcastic comment about Googling for it and then being an idiot than it did to Google for it and give them a link to a YouTube video. And then at least you know that the YouTube video is decent. That's why I hate telling people, oh, just look it up on YouTube. It's like, because I know how to look things up on YouTube from years and years, but potentially someone else doesn't. Because thinking about my granddad, he said, I tried looking it up on YouTube because I know you said you learned a lot off of YouTube, but it definitely hasn't worked, because he'd found something completely bloody different. Can't remember what he was trying to do. Something on the computer. What was it? He was trying to do something in PowerPoint, I think, and he ended up finding a video about Keynote. Like, of course it's not going to work, it's the wrong bloody thing. You got PowerPoint. You found Keynote. Oh, the algorithm probably messed him up. It's half a chance he put spreadsheet in, to be fair. He had no idea what he was doing on a computer. He didn't know what anything was called. Just press buttons. Kept him out of trouble. Anyway, there is that all done.